Hi everybody, this is my second video for today and it's using the new Holtz Poinsettia die and embossing folder set. So I'm going to show you how I made it. So pretty. Alright, so here we go. So this is the set. As you can see, I got mine from Hobby Lobby. It says $24.99, but actually I used a coupon. So I did not pay $24.99. I think I paid, I want to say 17 bucks. But it comes with the die, which is a Big's die, and it comes with embossing folder. So I'm going to show you how I put this together. So first thing is the background. I'm using some Tim Holtz Distress watercolor cardstock. Okay. And it doesn't matter which side, if you want to use the textured side or the smooth side. I'm going to use the smooth side. I'm using the poinsettia stamp that I got from Impression Obsession, which now I can't find the outside so you guys can see it, but it is an Impression Obsession, and I am using Distress Stain in Candied Apple. Oh, here we go. So that's for the stamp. So all I'm going to do is just ink it up. And it's the background, so, you know, it doesn't have to be anything special here. We kind of want that messy watercolor look. A little bit of a mess there. Okay, and let's just give that a second to transfer over. These distress stains were on sale at Tuesday morning. I guess they're changing the tops or something to sprays instead of dauber tops. I don't know, but I got a couple. They were like $1 something each. Alright, so we have that all done. Looks like some messy watercolored poinsettias, which is what we want. I'm going to do one more here. Alright, so I'm just going to set that aside to dry. Alright, so the next part is to make the flowers. So this came with a die and a folder. So we're going to start with the die. Now I just took some Nina Solar White and I sprayed it with some shimmer spray on some paper here and used my heat tool to dry that. So we're going to cut this. Now because this is a Big's, we need to use our cutting plate a little differently. Or our big kick, big shot, whatever you got. So what we would normally do is a sandwich with our, move this up so you guys can see a little better. Okay, so we normally do a sandwich with our multi-purpose platform, which is a sky. But we don't need this right now, so we're going to take that out. So we're going to have our cutting plate down first. Then we're going to have our paper. And then we're going to put our die on there. Now, if it makes it easier for you, you can put your top plate down first. And then your cutting die face up. And then your paper. And then you can see exactly where you're putting your paper on the die. And then your cutting plate. It doesn't matter if you do it face down or face up. It's personal preference. And then you're going to crank that through. So there is no multi-purpose platform when you're doing it this way. So we have 3 flowers cut out here and a centerpiece. And you can cut out as many as you want, make as many layers as you want. I also cut out a green set with some scrap green paper. Alright, so now we're going to switch over and use our multi-purpose platform, and we want that on tab 1 on the bottom here. And again, we're going to do our cutting plate first. And we're going to take the embossing folder and we're going to line up those flowers that we just cut onto the embossing folder. Now, again, there's a raised side. So what I did was these face down because I want the raised side to press up. And it's just like a puzzle. You just keep turning the flower until you get it to line up. Okay, one more. Come on. All right, there we go. And then also that little centerpiece. All right, so what I want to do before I close this is I want to make sure that I have everything lined up within the printed area of the embossing folder there. Then I'm going to carefully close this, and I want to hold that pretty tight, put that in the machine, and put my top plate on. Okay, and then we're going to run that through. And what that's going to do is it's going to emboss our shimmer paper. So now they are embossed and they have a little bit of shimmer on them. Now I do want one more I have cut out in green, so we're going to run that through real quick. Now my green, because it was scrap paper, one of the leaves got cut short, but that's okay. It's not going to affect it. Might have it lined up the wrong way. There we go. Okay, so same thing. Line that up, hold it down. Okay, so now we are done with the big kick, big shot, whatever you got. Down. Alright, so now we're just going to assemble, but before we assemble, I want to embellish this a little bit. And I know some of you guys watched my previous video where I had some problem with some Nuvo mousse, and you guys gave me some different ideas on how to use it. So we're going to use the Mother of Pearl Nuvo mousse here. Kim, I know you're watching me. You're going to be so proud. Look, I'm getting my fingers all inky. And I'm just going to take that Nuvo mousse and rub it over the tops of the raised edges there. And it's just going to give a little bit more shimmer and a little bit of a really light pearl depth to it. And yes, Nuvo did send me new lids and new product, so this is not all dried up. I know someone said, you know, you could re-moisten it and use it, but other people have said don't put water in there because it will cause mold. They said to, you know, save the dry pieces and then mix it up when you're ready to use it with water. Or use it with, like, glycerin, I guess, but I like using it as an embossing paste, but this is fine too. But you can see it's giving, especially the green here, it's giving it some dimension now. All the veins are popping out there. All right, so we're going to cover that up nice and tight. And I have a little bit of fossilized amber distress stain here. I'm just going to do that on the centerpiece there. Give that a little bit of a colored golden sheen. Alright, so then the only thing left to do is to give those petals some dimension. And you can use like a mouse pad. This is a Heartfelt Creations pad. And I'm going to use a large stylus. And all we're going to do is just kind of follow the veins there. And what that's going to do is it's going to get the leaves to pop a little bit. Give it some dimension, get them to pop out. And you can use any stylus for this. You can use the end of a pen. These Sakura Jelly Roll pens have a rounded end. And all you're doing is you're just breaking up those fibers and just getting the leaf from going flat to standing up by going into that vein there. And by the way, you could use either side. Both sides are beautiful. It's just personal preference. And then we have that centerpiece. Okay, so we can put that away. And now it's just assembling it. So we have our card base here. Now I didn't make up a card base, but it would be a standard A2 card base there. And this is all dry now. And you can use any kind of glue. I just happen to have my multimedia out, so I'm going to start with the multimedia, or even glue dots would work as well. Now the first layer, I like to put a little bit of glue on each of the leaves because I kind of want this first layer just to be a little more flat. You could also use glue dots. Alright, then we're going to move on to the next biggest layer. And I'm just going to do it in the center and kind of offset it. And then the last piece is just to put that center in there. So there we have our poinsettia put together on the Impression Obsession poinsettia watercolored background using Distressing, some Nuvo mousse, and then you would just mount that on a card. So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed my video. If you have any questions, post them below. Thanks for watching. Keep on stamping.